I think first sure on this beautiful farmhouse is as raw as it gets. That's Mr. Lucky Ali, the man! Finally! I love your look, Mr. Lucky. I love it.
I just came back from my prayers actually, so this is my prayer look.
This is your prayer look. I think you should keep it on all the time.
I'd love to wear this. I mean, it's white and it's very peaceful.
They're preparing for the concert that's happening at Chode Memorial Hall this Sunday. Lucky Ali himself is making his tea. In the background, you can see O Sanam piping in the background. One of the legendary, the classic. I love it. I have a lot of fond memories. Huh? Chai?
No, thanks.
You would never say no to any food. He's offering free chai. Say yes. I will have a cup of coffee. This is awesome. Okay, so Mr. Lucky Ali, I have a lot of fond memories listening to your track.
Okay.
I used to be a professional tennis player.
Okay.
I lost.
That's all right. We must lose in order to win.
Right. The reason I'm sharing this is that's another farmhouse. My friend's farmhouse, her name is Vali. During every lunch break, I had a red Maruti van, Maruti car. And I had a cassette, Suno, your album. I used to play that loudly and used to listen to your songs, and it was absolute solace.
I'm so grateful to Almighty for that, because that also gave me the same feeling, like even when we were making it and the many times I listened to it before we released it. In fact, that's happened with all our music generally. You start getting, growing in the love of, of the work that has been accomplished, because you look at all the aspects of what went into it, and you want to try to keep it as organic, as as loving as possible. You see, love is a very for music, I believe there needs to be love, man, for it to and there's a lot of love here in the diaspora of where we live in.
No, that there is, but not necessarily with people. But in your case, I believe it to be very, very different. I'll get there. Where I'm coming from is the fact that I particularly have experienced. I don't know if it was a time in my life. There was so much of pain in your voice. I want to know, have you realized that, and where is it coming from?
It's I don't know if it is pain or what it is, but when I work on the music, it's more about I need to feel what I'm saying.
Because you're very soulful. Your music speaks and reeks of it.
It needs to be truthful. That's,
is, yeah.
That's very, very important to whatever I'm saying in the song, in the music. And I try to keep it as much as fresh as possible, because we're not stuck with one genre or one kind of space. There's so many kids coming in and so many great musicians who I'm able to work with in the course of this journey. So it's like a blessing.
And your first album, I mean, your Suno was a big hit. I remember the MTV days when you had this, when the album came out. The backdrop was Egypt.
Yes, Egypt. Yeah.
Egypt. The visuals are very, very clear and vivid in my eyes. Yes, yes. What inspires you to come up with the kind of music you do? Because among the array of musicians that exist, your music stood out for me personally, and many, many people like me. Where do you draw your inspiration from, Lucky?
See,
You can sip your chai while you speak, it's all right.
Of course, I'm very grateful to my parents and my upbringing, that my father and my mum exposed me to a whole lot of life.
Like
in
what?
that sense, whether it was art, or whether it was culture, or whether it was traveling, or whether it was staying away from home and going to a different school and boarding school, all those experiences. So when you're growing up, it's basically you're just accepting whatever's happening, and then that's a lot of thought to process, as you're growing up. So in the process, this music happened, and this music happens. It's still a process.
But but when you sit down to make music or churn a tune, is there a time and a place for you? It can happen anytime.
It could happen anytime, and sometimes you're so like you're at a loss for like, man, I don't have the equipment to record my song, and and here it's happening like, and but ideas come and they go, and you're not supposed to like hold on to each and everything. Let it go. If it needs to come back, it'll come back.
Oh, but you don't. How do you memorize it? There's no.
It has to
You just
go.
wait for it to come back.
It hurts me enough to stay there, and that becomes my song.
It's not even strange when you say that, when you use the word hurt, because when I listen to your music, I experience some kind of hurt which I don't know what it is to you, but I have my own in my own life, and that's how I think I also relate to your music. But when you say, why do you use the word hurt?
That's the feeling I get. Hurt. It's a sweet.
I'm sure it's coming from some place.
It's sweet. It's bittersweet because it's about. It comes from an area where you're not in control, but things happen, and you're not in control, but you may not like a certain thing, and it affects you. Could be a divorce of your parents, so it could be so many things. You go to school, there's so many things in your growing years or whatever. But then that's what you have to process, and in that process, it's what comes out. In the initial stages, it's just like all the music just comes out, and then later on, as you grow, you start bettering it, and you start making it, where you want it to actually go.
Wow. Are you going to be voting in the upcoming elections, Lok Sabha elections? Are you be voting in the upcoming elections?
In a nation of children, I believe it needs to be led by a child. So, this is a nation of children, and only a child can understand this. And I feel some of the elders, many of the elders, I don't want to say who, what, but everybody's influenced by everybody. They kind of like lost track of where we should actually be going. I'm talking about everywhere. There's a confusion. There's almost like an anguish of not knowing the way out. And I feel that at a time like this, instead of resorting to what do you call, one-upmanship or divisive works, just take the whole thing into consideration, because God has given you that place. You understand too. Nobody just becomes something by virtue. It's God's will. You understand? I mean, people need to understand that मैं का घर खाली होता है. The house of the person who says I because of me is empty. And in that house there's no growth. There's only cobwebs. And you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what is the way forward, and how do you think this should be dealt with?
I believe, first of all, everybody calm down first.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Once everybody calms down, we should all get together, and the elders of each each popular front, which is there, get together like family, because we are family.
That's almost
Impossible.
unimaginable.
Yeah, but this is possible in India, because in India is a karmic country. You understand? आप जितना भी खराब बोल लो, there is a dard in the people. It's not about hatred almost. It's, people get lost for words, people get lost for who to get angry on. Let's get angry on ourselves and change.
Let's be responsible for all our actions.
All our actions. For whatever we do. Because we live here.
True.
We use this place, we spoil this place, we soil this place, and we expect everything to be
We
magical.
plunder this place.
See, those are short-term things. People think that, okay, paisa hona chahiye. There should be lots and lots of money. That's security. But actually, that's not the truth. Security comes in happiness, in accepting every, up, every down. You understand what I'm saying?
Where do you hold money in your life? How do you place
It
money?
comes, it goes. It's not supposed to stay with you. You understand? You earn it, you spend it. You understand? I mean, what? To have a nice, fantastic car. Okay, so, I mean, nobody would have had the number of cars my father had in the industry. And the kind of cars that he had. But he taught me one thing. He says, beta, when I was growing up, I wanted his Corvette. He had a Corvette. It was the only one in India. And it's still the only one in India.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And it's now with my dad's friend, Abbas uncle. So my dad said, I know you're feeling that I should give this to you. That you deserve it. But let me tell you one thing, I earned it. And I don't think you deserve it. Because you don't know the value of it. Your father earned it. And you understand what I'm saying? It's like my father never spoiled me. He kept me well, but he never spoiled me. I mean, he whacked the heck out of me if I was wrong. And
That's where your dard is coming from. I'm guessing.
no, I'm actually, those now are blessings for me. Those are like peacock feathers, that I was washed with.
Awesome.
So these are things that I find as blessings, and I feel right now that we all need to calm down. The whole nation needs to calm down. Savan is coming. The rain is coming.
I love the words you use and the way you say it.
Let's wait for that. It's going to be nice. And then new things will happen, new growths will happen. And we need to get together this one last time, because beyond this, there is no more time. If you see puri dunya ko dekho, something about to happen. Something that is beyond our control, beyond, that's what I'm saying. The hurt is for things that you're not in control of.
Yeah.
Something beyond us. But something also that could be very beautiful for,
Time to come.
for all nature, for all things. You understand about preservation, about many important things.
Awesome. I love the way you live here in your farm. It's this is the only house I see in hundreds of acres. Yours is the only place. You have your sheep. Apparently I was told you have peacocks here as well.
Yeah, lots of peacocks come in the evening and they sit here, and we decided that everybody is building buildings and all that stuff here. This needs to be a forest area for all the native plants that are local to Karnataka,
How often do you come here?
Very often. I see to it that I don't do much here now. That's because of the rains not being there right now. I'm waiting for the rains. Once the rains come, then I'll plow the land again. And I just want to try to give it back, I'll grow it and I'll take off the heads of the, corn, and put the ghas back in it, so that it gets humus, and then put gobar again, and just grow it again and get the soil back. What I can do for my space that I'm in, and everybody can do that.
What can Bangalore expect tomorrow at Chaudhaya Memorial Concert? What are you looking forward to or expecting from Bangalore audience?
No expectations. My only thing is I hope I do what I came to do. My work is to take these subtle messages, of whether you want to call them love or whether you want to call them beyond your normal realm of things, because that's my inspiration. But all my music happened here on this land.
Here?
Yeah, all of it.
Oh Sanam,
Everything.
I love your song. Tum hi se na 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 raja.
There used to be a chiku ka bagh there, so I used to sit under a tree called Henry, and I used to play.
Wow, I love the end.
Upcoming projects, so we would love to see you more,
What's in the pipeline for you?
Less, beta, is more. Always less is more. The more you are now, the less you become.
Unlike your appetite boner. So sorry for this parallel jokes. I think you should enjoy your tea. I think we wish you very, very well, Lucky. You just turned out to be exactly how I pegged in my mind. A man who will be very, very deep and very sorted and calm. You're exactly that person I had pegged in my head. I've never met you. They're meeting you for the first time.
I hope the blessing that you gave me is the reality in my own heart, and I'm grateful that we are alive and we are able to share this moment.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this is what I wish for our beloved nation, for everywhere. This is the only time we have, you know. It's
I truly wish you the best. Keep
wish us the best.
wish us the best, and continue churning such great soul-stirring music.